Hey, what's going on, guys? DopeSlutter930 here, and in this little tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace the battery on any Game Boy Color game. This will work for any Pokemon games or any other games that require a battery. Here's all the parts you'll be needing. So basically, if it's a sucky feeling when you are trying to play or save a game and it doesn't save, or you turn on the Game Boy and you see your contents missing. This actually happened to me with this particular cartridge, so I decided to make this tutorial. To open up the cartridge, you're going to need a special security bit screwdriver. Nintendo loves to make things difficult when it comes to opening up their consoles and cartridges. I'll place a link in the description basically where you can do so. There's also a way to kind of make a Ghetto rigged screwdriver, if you will. I'll place a link in the description to that as well if you don't want to actually purchase a screwdriver. But basically, you undo the screw, you push down and slide off the front cover, and the actual cartridge itself will pop right on out. Now you're going to go on ahead and put some flux on the 2 points that the battery is soldered onto. This just makes sure that the heat transfers easily and it doesn't damage the board. Then all you got to do is basically put your soldering iron on that point and pull up on the battery. It'll come right off. Just hold it up there for a second, and once the solder cools, it'll be loose. And do the same thing to the other side. If you pull up, it'll pop right off as soon as it's liquefied the solder. I'll go ahead and place a link in the description to where I got my batteries from. It was just a seller on eBay, but you can basically find these batteries anywhere. There's not like a certain source you have to go through. It is kind of difficult to tell on some of these batteries which side is negative and which is positive. I had one that wasn't labeled. So if you do have a multimeter, you can set it to like basically 20 volts, and if you put positive and negative, it'll show up 3.3. And if you do it, if you put the wrong side, it'll have a negative, so it'll be like negative 3.3, and that way you'll know which way is the right way, because if it has the negative, that means that obviously it's opposite. And on the board, it actually has labeled negative and positive, so that way you know which end of the battery needs to go on which part. So basically, you just want to place the battery on the board. Some batteries I've gotten have actually been bigger than others. This one was relatively small, so it didn't fit too well on the solder, like the soldering pads that were on there. So basically, what you want to do, if that's the case, is just put a dab of solder on the end of your iron and heat it up. Once it liquefies, it should flow relatively simply onto the battery, but you might need to use a kind of a decent amount of solder on the other end. If it's like you see here, it's pretty short, the leg of the battery, so you might need to kind of put a pretty good glob of solder on there, but regardless, it won't be an issue. As you can see here, I just put a lot of solder on there, and the battery is on there, no problem. Then all you got to do is basically reassemble, stick it back into its plastic covering, slide the front face on, screw that security bit back in place, and you're good to go. You can now enjoy your game and save it. If you did it correctly, then you'll be good to go for hopefully some years at least. So yeah, guys, this is how to basically replace the battery on any Game Boy Color cartridge. I wanted to make a video because I saw quite a few out there that actually just showed you to rip the battery out, and that's not good for the cartridge, especially if you're trying to keep it for a long time. So I wanted to show you the correct way to do it. So like and subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching.